Welcome everybody back to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here at the home studio this evening, and as I promised many of you who are following what's happening with the metal community here in San Antonio, I did mention that the band Carrion, who is going to deliver a 27-year reunion show coming up later on this month in December. So we're here to talk about it. I have with me Chip, Art, and the man Pete of the band. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's great to have all of you here. Art, welcome back, sir. It's great to see you.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
How's life?
Good. It's all good because you guys are here to talk about what's going on, and you guys really representing what's happening with the history of heavy metal in San Antonio and all the resurgence and the beautiness of it, of all the great things. I'm sure you guys saw my chat with Militia and the Hellstar guys. So it's great to have Carrion here. Holy smokes! Again.
Brought some buddies. Look, I dragged you in with me after I don't know how many years. Look at this guy.
Pete, how are you doing, sir? It's great to see you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Doing great, man. Just real happy to be here.
I think when I think about you, Pete, I know you don't do a lot of kind of this stuff, so I'm really excited to have you here. And Chip, the new man in the band, we've been talking about him for a long time. So let's start there, Art, with you. Last summer, July 2012, you were here. We were talking about Carrion and the release of all the Carrion reissues with Iron Shadows. When last we spoke, you said, Rob, we're going to do some reunion shows, and it might happen this December. We're a year late. So what happened? Why the delay a year later?
Getting everyone together, getting schedules to work. Pete's been a busy guy for a while now. Chip's been busy as well. Chip and I actually were able to start working and rehearsing some of the tunes just this summer, late summer. So yeah, it's been taking a while just to get schedules together, but we finally got everything to sync up, and we're in full tilt rehearsal mode right now. And it's going really well. We're pretty excited.
The event will take place, everyone out there, on December 21st at Nightrockers on San Pedro. So everyone head on out there. Last year, we were talking, of course, everyone knows that the original drummer, Frank Ferreira, was, you had anticipated might participate. I think initially there was some press that came out that said he was going to participate. What happened with Frank? Why did he falter out?
Well, Frank, our involvement with Frank with this release went as far as him providing the video, the archive video from the Via Fontana. And I spoke with him a few years ago, and he delivered that for me. He put it on digital format. He had it on a VHS, and he was able to deliver that on a digital format. And ever since then, I haven't really spoken to him. He's just kind of been. He's in Houston. Last time I talked to him, he was working a full-time job, and he had a nice career going, and he hadn't been drumming for a while. So we really never really spoke about playing live again with him. But he knew my intentions. He knew that I wanted to release the DVD and the audio, and he was going to cooperate. He cooperated as much as he could at the time. But yeah, that's about the extent of it. There was really not much talk about him getting together with.
So I've gotten to watch this happen, right? I mean, starting externally, right? And it's been an exercise in putting pieces together. I mean that's what I've seen is that Chris Kronk says, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. And then, well, do we have Pete? I don't know. Pete's busy. Pete's got things going on. He's got other bands. He's got stuff going on in his life. Well, I don't know. Let's see if some other bass players are interested. Well, and this is just kind of fun. But I saw 2 or 3. I'm not going to name names, but I saw 2 or 3 wicked bass players step in and then immediately step out and just say, no, thank you. No, that's not for me.
So he's giving you the scoop.
I can easily believe that because, I mean, that's what makes Pete so special. I mean, Pete plays, Pete is a player and a very intricate and masterful player. So when you expect someone to step into the shoes of Pete Perez, it's not anybody can just pull it off. Well, I will say as a fan that I'm glad that you did this, Pete, because I think when you think about all these, historical Texas metal bands who are continuing to work now in the new millennium, the closest that they can get to the original formation of the band, I think, is what fans really want to see. Of course, there's the heart of each one of those bands. Okay, there's Art here, there's Larry Barragan from Hellstar. I mean, people know that, but I think the closer you get to the formation, I think that's what fans really care about. So thank you, Pete, for doing this. And Chip, I mean, we were talking about you last year, too, because even Art was saying, you know, if you're not going to step up to the plate, then Chip Alexander's got your spot. So tell me what it's been like now that you're officially part of this band.
So first, all respect to Frank. I mean, if even today, if he were to call and say, "Hey, I want to do it," as a fan, I would say, "Hell yes, absolutely. Let's see the original thing." It has been an amazing opportunity for me, playing with Art, playing with Bob Dog and Martyrhead for the last 3 years, and you know, just being able to sit by these guys, watch this shit happen, watch it come together, and then, you know, given this opportunity, hell yes, yes. If that's what it takes to make it happen, is I'm going to step in and learn these songs and play this shit. Yeah, hell yes. Yeah, I mean, it would be ridiculous not to. But again, and I've already said this, I'll respect the Frank. I mean, it's his spot, it's his gig. Sure. I mean, I would not, you know, by any means fool myself into thinking that I'm, you know, a replacement for him, other than someone has to step in and do it. Hell yeah, I'll do it. I mean, fuck, if make it happen, yes, absolutely. Fuck yeah.
And on that note, you know, Frank's shoes as well are big shoes to fill. He had some pretty good chops, and you know, he got the gig with us a long time ago for a reason. Yep. And Chip has a gig now for a reason, because he's up to the task and then some. And you know, one of the big things I saw in Chip, probably the thing that really tipped it for me with getting Chip on board, it was his motivation. I mean, he was, from the onset of my idea to put out the CD, he was already calling me up about the gig. You know, are you set for a drummer? Or are you going to do this live? So, you know, just seeing that fire, right, that was really, really something that got my attention. So, I mean, that's what you want to have in your band.
Absolutely.
Right.
Any group. So now, Pete, you're here. You're here. I mean, jamming with Art again after all these years. I mean, as someone who, just like Art, is a part of the history of, you know, musicians, metal musicians in Tennessee. What's it been like playing these old songs? And because you've done a lot of things, I mean, but to go back to where it kind of started, really, for Pete Perez, how does that feel?
Well, coming back to this, it's like, it's a lot of scratching my head and going, what just happened? You know, a lot of rewinding, you know, tons and tons of rewinding on a CD, you know, going, and then turning the CD off and putting the DVD on and going, what were my fingers going on that part? And calling Art, how does this go again? Art, can you come over? Art, come to my house. We're going to work on this for a couple of 10 hours. But slowly but surely, or maybe not slowly but surely, but it all came together, you know, after a little while for me. I was a little unsure. I haven't played metal in a long time. The last time I played metal was with with Mark and all them, you know, in Spain. That was in the mid 2000s, like 2006. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, it's just, you know, been playing around here. So it's really neat for me, because the fact that I hadn't played metal in so long, it kind of, you know, playing it again kind of made me kind of really realize, you know, basically what I am. I'm a pinche rock bass player, dude. I'm a metal bass player. I'm not a jazz bass player. I'm not a funk bass player. I'm a metal bass player. And then doing this kind of made me kind of put me there again. You know, so it's a lot of fun doing now. You know, and hopefully we can keep doing it for a little while. Yeah. We'll just take it from there.
We got some plans for it.
And we're gonna talk about those plans. But before I get off the show, that's coming up on December 21st. I think that's really the reason that we're here. I want to talk about that. You guys will be playing, just so that the fans can understand. You'll be playing Iron Shadows, the entirety, kind of like the catalog of Carrion.
Every last note. I mean,
any surprises in there for us?
Yeah, a couple of surprises, a couple of small ones.
Spill the beans a little bit.
No, then it wouldn't be a surprise anymore now, would it? But, you know, about Pete, again, you know, and what Chip was saying about the bass players that were kind of on deck, were a little bit maybe too afraid to step on deck. But they would have maybe filled in. These guys were pretty talented. They were pretty good. But, you know, what I'm really, really glad to have back, besides the obvious with Pete, is, you know, everybody knows he's a great bassist. But his capacity in the rehearsal room is just, it's absolutely irreplaceable. What he's been bringing and with his ideas, it's just, there's no way I would have had that with anybody else. So, I mean, this is really, really going to be Carrion.
Let me ask you about that. I mean, you guys are here on the northwest side of town here at our home studio, and you guys, I know you guys just got out of rehearsal, just a block away at Ampus. So what have the rehearsals, how do they feel for you, Pete? How have they been going?
It's great, you know, a lot of talking. You know, we just stop and we, you know, talk about parts before we just start, you know, pounding away at notes.
You don't want to wing it.
No, we don't want to wing it, that's for sure. And then we've actually, I hear stuff now, you know, I'm older, when we wrote all this stuff for little kids. And so we maybe moved a note or two around, you know, just to make it sound a little more, I guess, mature, maybe. I don't know. I guess we're.
Are y'all keeping it in the same key? Are y'all down tuning a little bit?
Everything's the same. Everything's the same. The only, I'll let out this one little tiny little piece of, not really a secret. The only thing that we're doing is, you know, a lot of the song, on some of the songs that we recorded, there was keyboards on it, just to kind of fill it up because there's no rhythm guitar, and we just we've added that, but we're using sampling like MIDI stuff, and I'm just playing it with MIDI pedals. But we're playing everything else. You know, it's all being played. All the parts I recorded everything onto my computer and dumped it into a sampler, and I'm playing with my feet. So it sounds, you know, like I said, it sounds a little bigger. And you know, listening to stuff while we were rehearsing, I'll come up and I'll hear something in my head, and then I'll go home the next day, turn everything on, tape it, and then I'll send it to Art. You know, listen to it. Yeah, okay, that sounds cool, or maybe not. You know, whatever. You know.
Now, as we look ahead, okay, let's look ahead into the new year. I know you guys have already been asked to do Keep It True. For some of you out there who don't know what Keep It True, it is the big festival out in Germany. Keep It True will be taking place April 25th through 26th this year. Carrion is going out there. Art, how did that happen for the band?
About a day after I announced our reunion show this December, I got an email from Oliver, the promoter for KIT, and he offered a spot for us in 2015, and you know, it sounded great. You know, that was one of the short-term goals I wanted to get to after releasing the CD, and I was really delighted to get that invitation. I told him we'd mull it over. I have to talk to the guys about it and about the date and whatnot, and the details. And not 2 weeks later, he offered the 2014 spot because Iron Cross couldn't make it. So, yeah, I called up the guys, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Let's just go now. Might as well just get it out of the way. Let's go now. Well, we have the chance. Let's just take it. So, yeah, we're really pleased, man. We're happy about that.
Congratulations. That is stellar. I mean, for you guys. And that, I think that plays homage to the fact that even across the pond, those Germans out there respect all the history of Texas metal music. So, I mean, that's amazing. When I heard about it, I was kind of really taken back and so happy for you guys because I remember when all of this just first started rolling out. So look at it now. Aren't you happy you reissued Iron Shadows?
Really happy, man. I mean, otherwise it could have just been collecting dust in the garage, and I'm glad I pulled it out of there and turned it into all this. It's really, really great.
And even last time we spoke, you said, Rob, you know, the European press has always loved and supported Carrion.
As far as when I found that out, we had, well, the Texas metal scene for that matter, when I found out the old scene here had a following over there over the past couple of decades through tape trading and whatnot, yeah, that's what sparked my attention and got me motivated to release Iron Shadows. And yeah, you know, and of course, after I did, we got some really good run and some good press and some good reviews and stuff. So, you know, I had heard about it, and it's great. Turns out to be true that, you know, we've got some buzz over there, and we're loving it. I'm loving it. It's great.
Well, you guys, all of you guys from that scene back in the day really set the bar high. I mean, there was a lot of enthusiasm out there about people. Well, I said back in the day, you know,
I'm the one that has to climb over.
Chip. Yeah, Chip, you better up your ante. Because, yeah, I mean, because really, I mean, you will go over there and really represent, and I know that's important to all of us, and especially you guys who are doing it. So I'm glad to see that the enthusiasm and the fact that, you know, you really want to perform and play these songs the way that they're supposed to be played, even in Germany, like you will do here on the 21st, as you warm up for those big gigs. As we end out, guys, any last words that you want to share with the people out there? Chip, I'll let you go first.
Oh man, we're ready. We're ready to show everybody what we're going to do on December 21st. It's going to be a good night in San Antonio.
All right. How much you work?
Well, you know, we're hoping to get a couple of shows off after the December gig, and a couple of more shows here in San Antonio before we take off to do the Germany thing.
Okay.
And we've got some aspirations to play around here in Austin throughout next year, and maybe even pop out a couple of new songs that we're kind of riffing around with right now.
I was thinking about you and Carrion not too long ago, last week, when my boys and I were at Bonds 007 for the Militia Hellstar show. I said, man, Carrion should have been on this gig. You guys should have played that show. And we were thinking about you. And, you know, I'll say on camera that Mike Solis on stage said something about Carrion. Yeah, he said something about Carrion, that you guys were great, and that he was happy to be part of that brotherhood.
Yeah, I contacted him to thank him for that when I heard about it. And that right there was exemplary. That is exactly what the old metal scene was like, what Mike did that night. And we supported each other a lot. It was really, really cool to hear that he did that.
The way that he talked about San Antonio that evening and what we have here in our city was almost kind of like he was a little envious. It was like, oh man, I wish I was part of San Antonio. You know, I'm in Austin, but you know, in Militia, still part of it. Yeah, but I mean, but it's still San Antonio. He says, oh man, when I come into the city, I get this warm feeling because we know that the fans of San Antonio respect classic Texas metal. Any last words from you, Pete?
Well, just thank you for having us here, and I hope to see everyone at our gig that's coming up. And what was the date again? 21st of December. I forget.
Be there, Pete.
I will be there with my bass and a busted amp.
We'll be there.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Chip. It's wondrous that we get to sit down and talk about these things, because this interview and Texas metal hopefully will live on forever. So remember, everyone out there, the crew, the band, we will see you December 21st, Nightrockers Live. The return of Carrion after 27 years. You saw the band only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.